All thoughts with veterans today on that topic, Vietnam. Wasn't a world war, but it was a war the world watched. For many in Arkansas working on family farms, graduating from high school, or starting their own families, it was a world away until they volunteered for service or a draft card hit the mailbox, making Vietnam part of their world forever. Travis Case was 22 years old when he found himself walking into the jungles of Vietnam. Now, some 50 years later, he's one of many who walks into the Central Arkansas Library's Butler Center for Arkansas Studies to, in effect, go back.
My stomach's churning and my mind, my head's spinning, and I'm thinking, what's an old boy from Ball Knob doing over here in this country about to shoot at somebody?
This project is a massive effort to record and archive the Vietnam experience as seen through the eyes of everyday Arkansans. What they share is real and as raw as the war can get.
It was a horrible night. We had several killed. We killed several of the enemy. When the sun came up the next day, we had 23 bodies, not GIs, but other people. They brought a small dozer in there, dug a mass grave, and pushed those bodies in there. Now, you talk about something that will strike your emotion.
It really gives the people, I think, not only a better understanding of the war as a whole, but the impact of the war on individual Arkansans.
Brian has painstakingly logged hundreds of hours of interviews.
As long as there's somebody willing to talk, I'm willing to listen.
But from time to time, he hears,
Brian, I left Vietnam in 1967. I don't want to go back to it.
But those who do become part of the project for generations to discover. Photos and documents are scanned and preserved. All of it assembled online. And by going back to Vietnam, even for a short time, many veterans are getting much more than they're giving.
It's almost a catharsis for me to be able to put some of these things to rest. Like I said, my family, maybe out of respect, did not ask me about these things, did not question me. They welcomed me home. And then we tried to get on with our lives.
Brian offers the interviews to family members. Most, if not all,
say, thank you so much for interviewing Granddad. If you hadn't gotten these stories, we would have never known anything about them.
It's not the first time the life of everyday Arkansans in that war zone were outlined.
June 20th, 1967. Bob Higgins sat on the edge of a bunker south of the Boloy Woods and looked over the barbed wire towards the fertile rice land of the Saigon River Delta. I'm just looking forward to getting back to Adkins and working on the farm again.
Marine and former Governor Jim Guy Tucker was there. A misdiagnosed medical condition sidelined him from active duty after finishing up at Quantico. So he made his own way there.
There's a certain level of insanity involved, bad judgment. But it was something, I just part of me that wanted to go see it and do it, and I did.
In 1968, he put it all in a book, Arkansas Men at War. And make no mistake, these are not after-action sit-downs.
I went on patrol with a group out of near Da Nang, just south of Da Nang. We hit a minefield out there, and one of the Marines was severely wounded, and they got him up on a tank, but he was the one I was interviewing. A place called Hill 327, which was south of Da Nang, which is where the Marines' main base was. I met some of the guys from my platoon coming in from Quantico, and we were attacked that night up on top of the hill.
The second time he went back, the war was still there, but things changed.
They were focused on being able to come back other than in a box. So while they were unhappy there, to go through what they went there to survive and then to come home to a country that in most instances at least ignored the fact they had been there. There weren't any. I never saw many thank yous handed out back here to anybody.
The politicians hung us out to dry. And around 52,000 men and women whose names are on those walls in Washington, D.C., I think they would agree with me.
While you can't put a value on any life lost in Vietnam, the value of being there, it seems, is priceless too.
I'm delighted that I had the opportunity to do this. I saw a lot of terrible things, but sometimes that helps shape your mind for other things that come along.
Here's the deal. I would not take $1 million for that experience, but I wouldn't give you a nickel to do it again. But I'm very proud of it.
Big thank you to Governor Jim Guy Tucker and, of course, Travis Case sitting down, sharing those stories with us on this Veterans Day. Also, put a link on our website, krk.com, to the Central Arkansas Library Systems, the Butler Center, their whole project they're putting together. I encourage you to check it out, especially if you've got any interest in it or any kids, anything like that. The stories of Arkansans at war are amazing. And, of course, you can also find the governor's book on Amazon. It's still out there somewhere. It's out of print, but it's a great read as well.
An important day to share that on Veterans Day.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it's kind of the forgotten war. We don't like to talk about much, so it's good to learn as much about it as we can.
There's also a great Korean War veterans project there as well, so it's a wealth of information. Brian's doing a great job. And, of course, I want to say thank you to our resident veteran,
well, thank
Keith
you.
Monahan, a veteran of the United States Air Force, on this Veterans Day.
And thanks to all the veterans out there, and thanks to those still serving, keeping us protected.
Absolutely.
Except it's not going to work keeping us protected from the cold.
Right. But real quick on that note, I want to let you know that we're teaming up with Red River Dodge to honor all the veterans who have served out there. We're hosting an online donation drive to benefit the Veterans Village of America, whose mission is to improve the quality of life of veterans with assistance finding homes, employment, all that kind of stuff after their service. We encourage everyone to head over our website, krk.com. We've got a link there for you to make a contribution.